All right, good evening, everybody. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go ahead and start our regular meeting for October of the Fayetteville Board of Education. Thank y'all for being here. We've got a banner crew today. Thank you so much for being here. Board members, in front of you, you've got an agenda proposed. So I'd like to ask first that we either approve this, or if you have items to add to the agenda, we do so now. Nothing heard?
Would be approved.
Okay, have a motion for approval.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. All right, if everyone would please stand. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I should also note that through modern technology and state law that allows us, we have one board member participating electronically tonight. And so we want to welcome Pam Bryson to the screen and to the board meeting. Glad to have you with us tonight electronically to participate. Let's see, board members, you had emailed out to you the minutes from the September 6th board meeting. Any changes or corrections to be made to those? Otherwise, we would be.
A motion to approve.
Thank you. Got a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Okay. And we also have disbursements that were emailed out today. A variety of attachments to your emails if you wanted to take a look at those. Question, Ms. Williams is here to answer. Although frankly, the way you've got them itemized now, the description,
nice.
it's just glorious to be able to look down these and know exactly what that expense was for. It's really great.
Move that be approved.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
And a second, any questions before we take action? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Great, thank you. Principals report, Ms. Whitenack. Always start with asking.
Good evening. It is great to be here with wonderful fall break, and I'm excited about what's going on at Ralph Askins. This week is going to be a lot for us, a lot of good things. On the 13th, we are having our Blue Ribbon pep rally. So we invite all of you out. The only way you can get in the door is to have blue on, because we're a blue ribbon school, so you have to wear blue. So make note. You have to wear blue.
That's a great idea.
Yes. And the pep rally will be at 1 o'clock in the gym. And so we invite all of you to come. And on the 14th, we've made this a family affair. So we have little Mr. Ivy here and Big Ivy. This is the brawn and this is the brain, so you know. But Officer Ivy began the Distinguished Tigers Club. And so, no offense, we will get it together, ladies, but all the men in the community, we invite you out to greet our students on Friday morning, meet Officer Drew at 7 a.m., to just say good morning to our little tigers, let them know that they're loved, that we're vested in them, and that they can do anything and everything. So women. We will outdo them next month. I've already got a plan, Drew. Okay, so, and the third celebration is that I wore my heels all day, no Crocs, because I was challenged by a kindergartner that said, Ms. Whiteneck, I wore my heels all day. And when your toe starts hurting, you just push through. So, celebration there. But I want to introduce to you Hayden Ivy, and he will take it from here.
Good evening. My name is Hayden Ivy, and I am in the 5th grade at Ralph Askins. We have been very busy in the 5th grade learning a lot of new things. In math, we are learning decimals. In social studies, we are learning about the progressive era. And in ELA, we have been writing narratives. We have a few exciting things happening at Ralph Askins in October. I am looking forward to our Lighthouse Pep Rally, which will be October 13th. We will also be kicking off our Distinguished Tiger Club on October 14th at 7 a.m. I love how at Ralph Askins we have such amazing teachers and principals who help us be our best. Miss Whiteneck, I think we have one more thing to say.
We have one more thing to say, Hayden. What is that? Go Tigers!
And of course, you
What?
have a guest, but
Yes.
so who's your guest with you tonight?
Him.
Him. Him in the blue.
Good job. I will have to say, one of my favorite things, first time I met your dad, I was in Subway, and we'd already been making plans on some things about the 5th grade, and he came up to me and said, you ever thought about moving to 5th grade? You're living in the state of Athens, and I'm thinking the whole time, and I think we're looking at that. I know we'd already kind of made the decision, but I'll never forget that.
Right. Well, great report.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, Ms. Jean, Fayetteville Middle School.
I'm going to let Cheyenne tell you a little bit about herself, but something that we failed to add is Cheyenne is one of our 7th graders and the only 7th grader in the marching high school band. So we failed to add that, so I wanted
We're very proud of that.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Nunley, and I'm in 7th grade at FMS. I recently competed at the National Beta Club Convention. While attending, we competed in project proposal and collaboration connection, which we won. I also attended the junior representative interview, where I was chosen to be one of 2 leadership representatives. This means I will represent the state of Tennessee at nationals this year. I will also attend other leadership summits and speak to other students about what it means to be a leadership representative. I will collaborate with fellow members, compete in a collaborative project on site, and will serve as a representative the following year. I will also help facilitate a leadership session at the following year's national convention. I am honored to receive this award, and I'm looking forward to representing Fayetteville Middle School. This week at FMS, we will celebrate FMS earning blue ribbon status with a pep rally. We are excited to invite you, our students, family members, and any other members of our community who would like to join us for this celebration on Thursday, October 13th at 2:10 in the FMS gym. We will begin our basketball season next week with our first game, Monday, October 17th, beginning at 6 o'clock at South Lincoln. Our first home game will be on Monday, October 24th against Blanche. Come on out and support our Tigers. Our current enrollment at FMS is 6th grade with 80, 7th grade with 82, and 8th grade 83, with total enrollment at FMS 245.
Great job. Good job. Did you notice that the celebrations are on the same day? That's done on purpose so that everybody can kind of go from one straight to the next. It's just easier for everybody to get through that. So if you kind of noticed, he's like, oh, look at that.
Blue is still the color? For FMS, okay.
Yeah, please don't change color. Did you have anybody here with you?
No.
Oh, great report.
Great job.
Thank you.
her mom had to take her little brother to soccer.
I understand. You did great.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. McCormick, Fayetteville High School.
We have some representatives from our drama department that's going to speak to you here in just a second. couple of housekeeping things. We have a busy week as well. Homecoming for us, you know, this is a big week. We got Red Bank. They're 5-0, we're 5-0. Also, game of the week. Just about everybody shared the voting link now. We had some issues getting everything working at the school end on the Chromebook for the kids, but I assure you, study hall is voting every time they can get a chance. So, hopefully, I think we're like 6% down right now, but I got a feeling that'll fix itself by Thursday or Friday. So, also, we have ACT coming up for senior retake. So, we've got our boot camp this Saturday. We've got some teachers coming in to do some test prep with those kiddos. Got about 16 signed up now. I think we had 20 or so last year. COVID hurt us a lot when we were kind of going through all that, but it's good to see those numbers getting back up. And then that senior retake will be October 19th at the school along with ASVAB. So we're trying to do 2 big ones in one shot to try to get that done. So juniors and seniors will be testing that day. So these ladies don't need me to introduce them. I'm sure they can handle it on their own because Mr. Hobbs has done such a great job. So at this point, I'm just going to let y'all roll with it.
This might be a train wreck.
To start,
But
excuse my
everybody
tire.
stops to watch, though. Remember that.
Excuse my tires. Powder puff. Practice after this meeting.
Hi, my name is Sierra Arguello. I'm a senior at Fayetteville High School.
I'm Aaliyah Fowler. I'm a junior.
We are excited to have this opportunity to tell you all about our drama department and the curriculum at Fayetteville High School.
We recently went to Ralph Askins and performed Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I was the evil queen.
I was Snow White.
Our class, since there's 2 different classes separated, we did pre-K through second grade, and then the other class did third through fifth.
Let's see. We performed for them, and the other class did, as I said, 3rd to 5th. We have been working very hard on different acting techniques in Mr. Hobbs' class, and we really hope to visit the students at Ralph Askins once again this year.
My vote's on Maleficent, but you know. We want to do a night of the arts. It's a coffee house type of event, and it'll students can display their art, and we'll do a couple monologues, and everybody can just show their own type of, unique self.
As well as the band, some members of the band, such as myself, will also be performing because it's the Night of the Arts, hence the title. It'll be a fun and relaxed experience to focus on the arts in school, which is a very important thing to focus on.
The end of February and the beginning of March, the drama department will present a combined middle school and high school production of Disney's Lion King. The auditions will be at the end of October, beginning of November, just start to get in line.
Personally, I'll be auditioning. How about you, Aaliyah?
I don't know.
The next event for the drama department will also focus on students from Ralph Askins. Thank you.
Well done.
We are excited about the upcoming production of Charlotte's Web. My name is Jillian Jones, and I'm a 4th grader at Ralph Askins, and I'll be playing the part of Wilbur.
As Charlotte would say, salutations. My name is Calliona Holden, and I am also a 4th grader. I will be playing the part of Charlotte. We auditioned the week before fall break, and our first rehearsal was this afternoon. The production will be Thursday, November 10th. We will have a school performance and an evening performance for the community.
We hope you come to see us in our production of Charlotte's Web.
Great job. All right, now, do any of y'all have guests with you or anything like that?
Well, he usually comes, but my dad's here.
I don't know what he's been telling Julie, I don't know what he's been telling you, but he's not been here at that time. All right, and who's with you?
Mom.
Her mom.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Great report.
Good job, all of y'all.
We would be remiss if we didn't point out Mr. Hobbs in the back room. Not that everybody in our community doesn't know him already, but taking this on for the whole system-wide drama program, we really, really appreciate all you're doing. It's obviously something the kids are loving, so thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna say that I won't say any names, but Mr. Jones and I were talking today, and we were talking about people who enjoyed it, and he said that they were actually talking at the bus garage. It had gotten back how good the play was the other day at Ralph Askins. People were talking about it at the bus garage.
The arts are permeating.
It is, I'm just saying, you know, you might not think that that's where that would happen, but that's how good it was, and that is, just so proud of all y'all.
Thank you.
I do have one quick question. You mentioned the Night of the Arts. Fantastic idea. Do you have a date set?
We are.
The 28th?
28th,
October,
October.
okay.
So
All
about
right.
over a week.
And that'll be at the high school commons there? Okay, fantastic. We'll get that
All
on
are
the calendar.
welcome.
Any other questions, board members? Pam, anything? You good? Okay. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, from our supervisors, Mr. Jones. Jillian, if you'd like to stay and evaluate his report.
That's right.
She is my staunchest critic on it, and probably on the planet. Like, we have a lot of fun at home. Pleased to be able to present again. Good news right out of the bat. Our FEMA restructuring of the grant has been approved verbally. It's a done thing. It is approved. They're going into the review process right now, which is a bureaucratic process. It is what it is. It's all how it works. It was going swimmingly, and now we're a little worried because the hurricanes in Florida and Virginia and et cetera, some of the Tennessee personnel are going out and helping out with some of those things. It may or may not affect us. I just want you all to realize, like, where it seems like this is an individual project, it is affected by all these other types of things with emergency management. So, but we are very pleased that the restructure has been approved. We're looking forward to letters with specific dates and numbers and things of that nature. And I wouldn't expect that within the next month, but it will be coming. So that's good news.
Can I ask you a question while
Sure.
we're on that topic? Is that FEMA approval is verbal?
Okay, so FEMA defers to TEMA in this.
Okay,
So it is, so TEMA is all we have to get on it. And yes, TEMA, it's good. Doug is the main man, and Doug is giving it stamp, and then it's got to go through some military, and so, you know, there's a lot of layers, but it's going through all that at the moment. So yeah, good stuff. Also wanted to make you all aware some of the other projects that are going on, other developments. I want to give a shout out to Jeff Bryant. He is doing some of the best work he's ever done. He's had some really good ideas to help us. You know, we've got supply chain issues, we've got cost, inflationary issues, things that we're running into, barriers, and he's coming up with these great solutions, working hard to get some stuff in that will help us on HVAC, will help us on potentially finding places for some of our classrooms in the portables and making that more of a comfortable situation, potentially permanent placement for those within the school year. So doing a lot of good work on that end, and it is unending. That's you know, you could have a team of people doing some of this, and he's taken most of that on his shoulders and running with it, so I'm very pleased with that. I'd say it whether his father was in the room or not, but this is good stuff. So
He walked me through what he's doing in the end of the building there for Cosmos.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
The
great.
facility they're gonna have, and to be able to get out of the portable and into the.
well, and at the price point,
That's happening now?
It's happening.
it's in process, yeah. And so rather than make a construction project, we're just going to repurpose some of the stuff we've got and kind of reimagine that so that we don't have to change anything for fire code purposes and code. Everything stays kind of as it is, but we open up space and make it available. And then our guys, Richard and Knox are doing the legwork with like just very minor expenses with any kind of contractor involvement.
Mr. Jones told me, he says that Mr. Bryant had something he wanted to talk to me about, and said he thought it was unbelievable. When Jeff came in talking about it, I was blown away. You know, sometimes we can't see things because we look at it right here, and he was able to see the whole picture and do all that, and it was
It's because he's familiar. Nobody else is as familiar with the structures, and so he could see, hey, we did this back, 24 years ago. That led to this. If we undo this and then just put some new stuff that we're capable of doing, we can save vast amounts of money and get some of what we need. So it's not enough good things can be said about great ideas and hard work like that. So I'm pleased with that. Buses going pretty good. We're getting lots of kids on the buses. So probably more kids riding the bus as a percentage of the school community than ever before. So I think we're good. We'll see when some of the extracurriculars get finished up if some of the buses are kind of overfull. But I actually, in our staff meeting, I was like, some of the older ones, if y'all can encourage the ones that can get rides and help us out with the little ones, because we want to make sure everybody's got away. But about 3 of the buses are at complete capacity right now. Of course, it may entail restructuring some routes, and of course that stuff has to be board approved. Like, we can do little stuff within day to day, but if I have to change a route, then that's per policy. I'd have to bring that to the board. That may be a possibility. We'll have to see once all the football is over and the basketball starts, as well as marching band, some things like that, because you don't realize it, but all those affect transportation.
Right.
So, and that's the bulk of my report today. Does anyone have a question that I can try to answer for you? All right, thank you all so much.
Fantastic. That's great news. Thank you. Mr. Hodgson.
So, to piggyback off of something that Mr. Jones referred to, we've got our amendments in for our ESSER 2.0 as well as our 3.0. I love it when I can call Lisa at the beach and she will hit the submit button for me on fall break. But we were able to, the state refers to it as braiding funds. So because we knew that deadline of June was going to be looming, and we were going to have, because of all of those problems referenced with supply chain, construction, etc., now we're going to be able to do some things with units, HVAC units that we've needed for a long time. I cannot anticipate, knock on wood, that they would not approve those changes.
Ask a quick question about that. Now, we're probably not the only school system in the
Absolutely
state
not.
facing similar problems.
As a
right?
matter of fact, when Lisa and I went to a conference, we actually sat down with Marianne Dursky, and we cornered her specifically for that, and that was her exact comment, that was a rampant problem all across the state, and I think that's the reason they invented the term braiding of funds, because they knew it would be necessary. So conversation today, Motlow is about to set up a dual enrollment EMT program, which we're going to be able to piggyback our nursing program with, potentially sending seniors there in the morning next year, and they'll get 4 EPSOs for that, so we like that. Still in talks with Frankie about the welding program, which they're very on board with. We're going to try to braid some funds again with the innovative school model. Super excited. Today we have a student that I told you about. Today was her first day at Frankie. I took her and dropped her off. We got a bus that's going to pick her up. I think tomorrow's dress up day, and she came out and she had her welding gloves. She said it was like Christmas for welders. She had a welding helmet and her gloves, and she said, tomorrow, like they're wearing costumes, you think? I said, I would wear my welding helmet on my head and carry my gloves in my pocket. So she is super excited, and that's going to be a great deal, and that's what opens the door to collaboratives with industry like that. Also in a conversation today with a collaborative grant with THEC that's going to be about dual enrollment. So they were impressed with the stuff we had done previously, TCAT, Franklin County and Moore County. So now they're approaching us. So they approached us and wanted to do a call about some money they had to collaborate. And the ISM, hoping by the end of the week to get the Innovative Schools model, which is that 1.5 over 4 years. We're going to focus on computer science. We're required to have required computer science by 2025 anyway. So the idea is if we can use this funding to get a computer science lane in the middle school and in the high school, and again, we're doing some creative things on getting people certified, and this money we will use for that. So by the time the 2025 drops, we'll already have it taken care of. So that's kind of our goal, which will then lead to in talks of evolving to a cybersecurity that would be a dual enrollment or a triple enrollment Montlow TCAT, where it would be housed in their building for seniors to go the cybersecurity route. So that's what we got going on.
And from an industry perspective, it is so hard to hire cybersecurity trained and certified individuals. They are so hard to find. And so these folks will walk into a job market begging them.
Mr. Jones went with us when we went in. What was the high school that we visited in Huntsville? When we went there, there were actually seniors who were 18 years old who would be graduating, who already had all the certifications.
They were certified, and they were at the stage that they could at their age, going through companies that already headhunted them to provide the steps toward attaining military clearances.
Yeah.
And while in high school, I was very impressed with that.
They created the cyber school. It's right there near, what's that college?
Oakwood, no.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, it is. It's right near Oakwood.
Yeah.
And,
Our goal is we just got to make an instructor. That's the deal.
And keep one.
And keep one.
So it's pretty lucrative.
Is there opportunity for that cybersecurity to be cyber? You'd have to have an in-person, or you just actually?
They actually have a dual enrollment course at UT Southern, but here becomes the problem. There aren't slots for our kids because they're filled up with other people. So that's the other people are in
line. It would
line.
be possible to have a virtual.
Yes, yes.
With that.
And
So if that's the case.
Like if we could find the person.
yes,
They don't necessarily have to be physically in this.
we had that.
Just find someone.
That's a great idea. If you find somebody that's doing that and they don't have a full capacity, and we can piggyback with our smaller capacity on theirs, that would be ideal.
And we actually talked about that with someone who had a full-time job, but were working from home, and because you could do it like a flipped classroom, that conversation was actually had about a dual enrollment at the TCAT. It's just a matter of making it happen and putting the stuff
But we
in
could
place.
have a virtual teacher.
We could technically, you can have a virtual teacher in anything.
Okay.
Well, I trust with your vision for all of this, we will find a way to make that happen, because that will be a stellar program to have in our schools.
I do want to, this is no offense to anybody, but I always look forward to your presentation because I think what you're doing is always, I don't know, just so impactful. Everybody's is, but I think the career tech stuff is so just.
Mr. Jones and I,
to me, I think that's so great.
we had that conversation today about how you can just redirect one person and then every generation after. So we're increasing the economic potential of all of our students in our school.
It is. It's just, you see the real life change that is happening for the opportunities kids are having. It's just really neat.
Thank you very
Any other
much.
questions, Pam, anything? Trying to make sure you feel included out there.
Nope.
Virtual land. All right, thank you so much, Regina. That's great. Mr. Kippen?
I love Regina too because she's so creative and comes up with all these great ideas.
I generate a lot
And
of
I've
work
got to
for
figure
the
out how to
people
make
who work on
it work in the computer account. So she's fantastic.
I generate a
Well,
lot
what
of work
about
for
this? And I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out how to do that. So
Regina's not people to run for.
A lot of I'm going to be like Josh Heupel quoted me this week, and he didn't know. Opportunity, people.
That's
This
right.
week is opportunity. Got to embrace it that way.
I don't have a whole lot tonight. I would like to say this though. The people at our schools in the office that do attendance have done a fantastic job this year. And we've had a change at the middle school. We've got a new person at the front desk there, Miss Tanya Allen. And at the high school, of course, Miss Alice just left us, and Casey Sheridan's taken over there. And so I work with them a lot as far as attendance and coding, and we're trying to make sure we get everything exactly right. And the schools have done a super job with that this year, and I just want to kind of shout out to them for that. Current enrollment numbers right now, our overall enrollment's 1190. We've got 12th grades 97, 11th grades 84. You want to write these down, Mr. Clark? 10th grade 105, 9th grade 100, 8th grade 84, 7th grade 83, 6th grade 81, 5th grade 75, 4th grade 70, 3rd grade 85, 2nd grade 95, 1st grade 86, kindergarten 73, and pre-K 72 right now. So
missed 11th and 12th.
11th was an 84.
Okay.
12th grade was 97. Yes. So, but,
What's the biggest class?
105 in 10th grade.
10th grade.
10th grade's 105. So high school's, yeah, pretty heavy this year as far as numbers overall. So, but anyway, things are really going well. So, if y'all have any questions or anything? All right. Thank
You spend
you.
a lot of time at the individual schools,
I do.
right?
I do.
Ironing out issues
I do.
and problems.
Yeah, that's a big chunk
You
of
know,
my
every
time.
child is monetarily means something to the system. And
Yes.
so, when you say every child matters, every child
Every
matters.
child
And
matters.
for example, that's why I generate work for Steve, because on the new TISA funding formula though, a CTE student
That's right,
generates
that's right.
more money.
She
So
can-
we gotta make sure the
That
state,
it's tracked.
that it's tracked and goes to them.
She can find you on a boat in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
I did. And on the beach.
Jen will
On the
track you
beach
down.
and on a boat. I can
Thank
find
you.
you right.
Okay. Our student is not with us tonight. Dr. Stiles.
I don't have too much to cover today, but last month, at the end of the month, we had our professional development day where all of our teachers got together in their schools and we provided training in a lot of different areas. And one of the trainings we did was writing. So I got the opportunity to work with teachers on that. And they brought in all of the writing that we just completed on the case assessment, because with our response to intervention, we're adding writing as an area that we're going to focus on for intervening and helping students. So I was very impressed with the teachers. All the way from 1st through 12th, we all met and looked at writing samples and talked about informative paragraphs and essays. So that was,
And most were engaged too, weren't they?
oh yes,
That's what I'm saying. You know,
definitely.
it's one thing about putting on professional development, but if no one paid attention, they did a good
Yes. And then with our Title I funds, we have, we've kind of talked about this before, we've contracted with the Bailey Group, and they came in right before the break and worked with our administration. And the big focus is on culture and climate of the schools. And so just in what we've seen tonight, I was very impressed with what was taking place in our schools. So I think that that's going to go a long way. They've been an impressive group to work with, the Bailey Group. So
How long will that work continue?
they'll be here once a month, and they work with the principals in one session and the assistant principals in a second session. And so that's paid for through our Title I funds. So
It'll be
For this whole school year?
a whole year.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
That's good. All right. Ms. Young?
Well, mine also will be short and sweet. I think I hope everybody enjoyed their time off last week. Mr. Giffen gave you the numbers for pre-K. We have about 6 empty spots. So we're staying pretty full in our pre-K this year, which always looks good for our kindergarten numbers for the next year. It always helps those. Our after-school program actually has a waiting list. We're at 68 students in our after-school. And we received our state certifications this past week. All the paperwork was turned in September, and then we received our certificates, and we had to up our numbers in both programs. So we were at over capacity. So we upped our numbers so that we are now all certified in all of our classrooms.
I have a question about if you have any updates about the 3rd grade retention and where is the latest?
We are, as a school system, Ms. Whiteneck and Ms. Pace are tracking that with every 3rd grade student. Notes went home at parent-teacher conferences, trying to stay right on top of that. Of course, I think there's some legislation that'll come through.
But so nothing has changed as far as like the state?
No, it won't until the legislatures come back in January. Nothing will change till they come back. So it is what it is until January. And then we will need to start contacting our
Yeah, I
legislatures.
think most all of us, we're kind of in a slight holding pattern because you just don't know what to do. That's always the conversation. Everybody keeps going, what have you done? What have you done? And on the directors, we don't know. And they go, okay, that's when we're scared. You're just afraid to pull the trigger on too much because nothing's final. But,
Well, I mean,
Well,
sort of final,
Yeah.
we're trying to get it unfinal, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get it reversed,
Yeah,
basically, or modified.
But they are, Ms. Whiteneck and Ms. Pace are tracking that daily,
Yes.
and they are communicating with parents.
I mean, all we can
constantly.
do is prepare.
That's
for
all we
what
can do is
know
prepare.
Has been passed already.
And you know,
And
we
work
will
with
provide
it.
summer school again for those that need that.
Right.
And of course, we will target that third grade group this year,
So
so,
how would that affect our, is that summer school grant separate from what this?
yes.
So you're gonna have a third grade, or
We
You're gonna have
receive,
approaching
we will
fourth grade
receive
group
our
and then
allocations, was it Mr. Hopkins last year, about January?
I think so.
January, February, we'll receive our allocations based on the number of students that are considered, like Regina was saying, that Mr. Giffen keeps those at-risk numbers correct in our student information system. Our allocation will be based on our number of at-risk students.
but you're gonna essentially have 2 summer camps with
But
2
it-
separate staff.
That is a very possible scenario, and that worries us a little bit, because again, when you have limited staff and you have limited students, I don't know that, we're gonna try to work into one. We'll just have to see how that goes, but yes, that's a possibility based on the way it looks, and that all the small schools throughout the state are struggling from the same thing. And they'll have the same
We
issues.
do have wonderful staff that always step up for summer school. We really do. I'm very impressed with our summer school staff the last 2 years, and couldn't ask for better folks.
Yeah, I agree, because we worried about it last.
We
last year.
did, we did, because we
worried
don't
about
want
that.
them to get burned out.
Exactly.
You know, that burnout of, because they don't really get any time off when they work that summer school, because they get off about the 1st of July. We start in service about the 25th, so they have about a 2-week window. And y'all, that's challenging.
And of course, because of the way we restructure some things at Ralph Askins, they have those transition classes, which we hope will help with that. That's kind of our
Right.
goal, was to get ahead of the game with the transition classes.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Normally, we wouldn't do that, and we may not do that next year, but we're just gonna see how this works.
Thank
I
you.
did have a quick question.
Okay.
The after-school program is built back up. My perception was we did down, do we, in retrospect, looking back at that, was that a COVID thing that
really was.
just kind of hammered that program?
The cost at first was more than a lot of families could afford.
Okay.
The grant really helped us getting the 21st Century Grant so that they can come at no cost. Our numbers started back up, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so that kind of hurt us for those, for that year right after COVID. But the cost had gotten, with the FAST program, had gotten to the point that the average parent couldn't pay the fees. Or the kids that we really needed there.
That's right, yeah. And 68's getting up to kind of normal levels from the
Yeah,
past, isn't it? I
it
mean,
is,
upwards
it
of
is. And
100, it
it's,
seems.
right now with the staff we have and with the funding we have, it's about all we can, we're funded for 50. So we are stretching our funds. Our grant was for 50 students, so we're stretching our funds as far as we can stretch them.
That's awesome.
And we have some great, also have great staff there as well.
Well, it must be great because Anderson's asked me every day, can I go to after school?
Well, that was one of the things when we moved from the FAST program to the 21st Century program. One of the people at the state said to me, if people are begging to come, you know you're doing it right.
Yeah, well, he wants to.
And they're getting some tutoring, homework help, and those kind of things as well.
They will.
It's not
And-
just a playtime.
No,
I want
and then
people
they're
to
getting a
think
lot of
this-
enrichment,
That's
and
right.
we have physical activity that's a requirement of our grant. They get a snack. We feed them every day. And yes, we have 3 excellent teachers that are helping with tutoring every day, homework help. We're hoping to get in the computer lab maybe after Christmas and do some things in there. But right now we're focusing on just getting homework and tutoring done.
Yeah, that's cool. That's Sarah, our daughter, is at Lee in middle school education, and she's working Bradley County schools part-time, doing exactly that with the elementary school, and she's just loving it. And
I wish we were a
see
little
it.
closer to UT Southern, because in my former position, I used a lot of college students, and they were excellent tutors.
Yeah.
And so I wish we had that opportunity here. We've tried with Motlow, their education program is kind of down right now, and so hopefully it'll come back.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that report. Ms. Williams?
So the first item is the September Consumer's Financial Reports, the revenue section. And this is just for information only.
Kind of year-to-date
Year to
comparison.
date, the third column is the year-to-date funds received, and just kind of keep in mind it's like a month in arrears. You know, actually it's October's money that we reported in September, because we didn't receive it until September. And then the next report is the expenditure report. And that is the year-to-date from July through end of September. And that includes the cafeteria and the capital outlays.
And I would draw the board's attention that y'all are obviously perfectly capable of reading this like I am, but there are some percentage complete, how much percent of the budget, there's a column in the middle for the current school year, and then over on the far right is last school year. I know the city, back when I was on the city board, we did a similar thing to show, well, we're 23% expended on this line and 42 on this, and you might not be 42% of the way through the year yet, but there's always a reason why that, maybe those expenses come earlier in the year, not later, and so those are always interesting to follow to see how.
Right, and so like, for instance, you know, we've already paid our liability insurance, and that came out of the Board of Education line, so that's a big chunk of.
I noticed that the board was costing us a lot. I noticed that. I thought, I've got to ask you, so thank you for answering what that big expenditure was.
Yeah, so
I mean, we were like
one-time expenditure.
45% expended on the year, and I'm like, whoa, we just.
Well, that's right, when y'all look at my travel budget, that's blue rounded too, that's
They
not
see
just
a-
me traveling.
Might need to see a breakout on that, huh?
So it's one-time expenditures that's already
Yeah,
been spent.
that's just the nature of this. Those are great reports, thank you. Any questions, board members, about that? All right.
So the next item is the approval of the ARP IDA preschool budget, and this is just carryover funds from the American Rescue Plan. Funds that were not spent at the end of FY '22, but we have until FY '23 to spend. And the first one is the preschool, and it's $6.27. So I just asked for your approval.
These are the reports that were in the email from Sunday, that were sent out on Sunday, if you're looking for them. And they're sideways. So. But you can clearly see $6.27. I think I heard a motion, but I'm not. Okay, I thought I heard you say that. And I got a second. Any discussion of that $6.27? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. Thank you.
And the next item is the ARP IDA Part B funds, and that's $42,265.34. And those funds do have to be expended by FY '23, June 30th of this fiscal year.
Okay. So
And that's a carryover from last fiscal year. And then there's.
We had 42,000 remaining.
Yes, it was out of a $66-something thousand budget, and then we had 42 remaining. But we have until the end of this fiscal year to spend it all. It was a 2-year grant.
So move.
got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. All right.
And the last one is the ARP homeless FY '23 budget, and $1,888.56. We have until FY '24 to expend these
Oh, wow.
funds. And this is carried over from last fiscal year.
Okay.
Is this, I'm sorry, is this something that we actually use, is this funds that have been used before?
This is a new grant, this part of the new monies that came down.
This
with
is a
the-
new thing.
New thing. Last
thing.
year was the first year.
Gotcha.
And it will end FY '23 and '24.
Okay.
Looks like the bulk of those funds are going into the regular instructional program.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Thank you.
Lucy,
And then just to follow up on the insurance, that we had,
insurance that
Health
we talked
insurance.
about last month.
Last month, we have virtually met with One Digital, and we have received her information from the state on what she was needing, but it's not quite the detailed information that she was needing, but her team was gonna look at it, and we're just waiting to hear back from her to do her studies on what we received from the state. But we did get the information from them, and it was submitted maybe 2 weeks ago.
And I spoke with the insurance company from the state. They read our toss, and they asked me about, when we sent the letter, they asked, why did you send the letter? So I explained to them. And so they said that they requested that they have an audience with the board at some point in time concerning all that. Just, I guess, their rebuttal. And so when we get to that process, I think we need to get a little further with this, because I don't even know what we would talk about at this
We
point
need
in
to
time.
get more done.
But I told them that I would bring that before the board at the appropriate time, so that's kind of what we're waiting on. I guess we're just waiting on feedback right now after they look at the stuff. That's my understanding.
Well, I think part of the thing was the squeaky wheel, and we're squeaking, right? Because the rate of increase is very high, and we're concerned about long-term sustainability, and so the state knows we're upset and concerned about our future with them. We're pursuing another way to address this and see if we get better options.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about, and I told them, I said, we just can't go with that kind of increase on a regular basis.
Right.
And they said, of course, then they started saying different things, like what's the first time we've increased in so long, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so they know, and they were well aware that they knew exactly who Fayetteville City was and everything, so.
Good. I've shared this with some of the board members, just related to, and you face this with your own insurance coverage, but of course, I'm a federal employee retiree, and of course, they have a broad portfolio of health insurance options and whatnot, and they have a lot of power to negotiate because they are the federal government. And starting in FY '23, the average premium increase for health insurances under federal plans is going to be 8.7% increase, which is huge. And I think it's a sign of the inflationary times we're in, and the health systems, everything's just skyrocketing in healthcare. But it just, we've got to look and make sure our wheel is squeaking to the state. And we're not the only ones, right? I know that you say in your superintendent meetings, everybody, this is the talk of the systems, right? Is we can't do this indefinitely. So,
that is correct.
So yeah, I appreciate the work the staff is doing. I know Carla's working on this as well. I appreciate her work on this.
So you have not heard back yet from her about the information that was sent from the state?
We got an email today, or I guess it was today or this morning. This morning, but that was not about that.
All right, anything else from the financial realm? Okay, we have committee reports, facilities and transportation. Anything further to report on that, Mr. Jones, or committee members, facilities, transportation?
Nothing else.
Okay, all right.
I have just mentioned, we've talked about multiple times, is that, when you and I were on that committee, we had sort of started leaning into trying to meet monthly. And anyway, we had talked about it previously, and you brought it up in your email last week. I feel like sometimes a little bit in the dark on the facilities, because just like this project going on in the back of the cosmetology, I just didn't, I don't like being on the tail end of finding out what's going on. Not that that's,
Right.
not because don't have full trust, it's just so I know that what's going on to be updated. So I think maybe monthly.
They are. We discussed that, Mr. Jones, we
He
discussed
talked
it
to us
today.
about that in staff meeting today, so I think lots of us are gonna have monthly meetings now, so.
So that would be.
Yeah.
But that would be, Pam's on that committee, right?
Mhm.
On the facilities.
So
and
just whatever's
transportation.
good,
So, yeah.
for her
Mr. Jones is gonna reach
schedule.
out to y'all, that's what I was gonna say, he's gonna reach out to both of y'all and schedule times that, be convenient to both of y'all where you can. And again, some of them have to be done virtually, just like we're doing
Yeah,
right here.
for sure.
But, yes, I think that would be great, and
Well,
Mr.
and
Clark and I also discussed that this afternoon, that it would be good, that way we can give real reports. Not, that that's a report, but I'm just saying, the board members can give
board
reports.
members can weigh in
Yes.
on more things when we do that.
Well, and then I think, like we've talked, we had it, but like working towards a real working facilities,
We're real
Plan.
close to being there.
you know, that we can, more streamlined. Not that we don't have a streamline, but it's just more documented, I guess.
Sure. Well, and we've also talked, the finance committee doesn't even meet on a monthly basis, and yet we're gonna start meeting with Ms. Williams on a monthly basis, just for that same purpose, just to stay better, so that Tommy and I can stay better informed, and so, policy already
We do our
wears
part.
it out, okay? Y'all meet all the
We
time.
got it going on.
There's no lack of
That's the reason I
meetings.
chose to do this, they were complaining that it wasn't right.
But I think it will be good for us
It will
to,
be good.
in
I'm
our
excited about
respective committees to have some more interaction, so that's good. Thank y'all for the time you'll invest in that. All right, so finance, we do have a few things, a couple of things. These are standard, y'all have seen so many of these in the course of this FEMA project. But the first one is another invoice that we have from Broadus and Associates for, in fact, it's invoice number 11. We really have been at this for a while, haven't we? $19,388.51 for their project and program management services toward this FEMA project. I would make a recommendation that we make a motion that we approve that invoice.
Second.
I got a second, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. And then we also have an invoice from JBHM Architecture. It's their 8th invoice, and this one is for $6,000 for their architectural services, also on the FEMA project as well. So, no surprises there. These will then go on to the city for their action as well, right? So I'd make a motion that we approve this invoice.
Second.
Second. All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. Great. That's all I have on that topic. Insurance and
We
policy.
just minus one. Unanimous, and it's not another vote, she didn't vote, so. Jennifer, as it says, for record, we can make sure that we don't.
That's right, that's right. We sort of show it 5 and 0. if we
Yeah,
vote on
yeah,
that
I mean,
particular motion.
I'm trying to be
Okay, insurance and policy.
I have 7 policies tonight.
Okay,
I move to approve the following revised policies on second reading. 1.700, school district goals.
okay. You got a motion? Just second reading on all of these.
Make a motion to approve 1.700 school district goals.
Okay, is that a second to her motion?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
I move to approve 4.205, enrollment in college level courses.
Okay. Got a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Thank you.
I move to approve 5.100 personnel goals.
Okay, got a motion
Second it.
and a second. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. Okay.
I move to approve 1.404 appeals and appearance before the board.
Okay, got a motion
Second it.
and a second. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. Okay.
I move to approve 1.703 school attendance areas.
Okay, I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. All right.
I move to approve 1.800 school calendar.
Okay, a motion
Second it.
and a second. All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no.
I move to approve 6.204 attendance of non-resident students.
Okay, I have a motion
I second it.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. All, that passed unanimously, okay? There were some quiet ayes. There were no nays, so we're good there.
1-0.
Thank you so much. Anything further from policy?
That's it.
Insurance, all right. Mr. Hopkins.
All right, I'd like to recommend the approval of an overnight trip for FHS FFA chapter to attend the 95th Annual National FFA Convention and Expo on October the 25th through the 29th in Indianapolis, Indiana. Real nice.
I make a motion to approve it.
And
All
John.
right. I've got a motion to, you're not chaperoning that trip, are you? I have a motion to approve this overnight trip for our FFA chapter. And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. Great, got it.
And the second part there, I handed out a job description, or a lady there, I sent you something on a weekly update about creating position of assistant director of schools. And I think there's never been a job description or an official thing that we can find on record, and we've looked. So I would like to recommend the approval of that job description and title.
I think it's a fantastic idea. We've had sort of some named, at least verbally, we've had this in the past, but we need this, in my opinion. So
I think so too.
I think we definitely need to name this and codify it so that it's actually.
Yeah, I thought about it for a while. That's what I'm used to in previous position, but also after going to TOS and speaking to the other directors, even small schools, everybody typically has some form like that, so I thought it'd be time for us to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, and anytime you're out of the office, we need, or the director, even after your tenure is over, we just need this. So. Yeah, well, I would make a motion that we approve this position.
Second.
And I have a second. Any further discussion of that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. Okay, so you'll take care of that. Anything else from you?
I don't think so.
Okay, board members, you probably saw in one of the emails, there was a resolution of appreciation. This is we get do this through U-Trust, right? Isn't U-Trust the ones that sends us this U-Trust board member?
Well, I was gonna say, we got a board member out of it too. There.
That's right, okay. So it's the monthly, we really like to just take time each month and honor a different segment of our employees. And this month it is custodians. And it reads as following. I make a motion, we approve this resolution as follows. Whereas our custodians deserve honor and recognition because they have the important job of keeping our schools safe and germ-free for all the students and staff members. And whereas our custodians start their days early, work hard during school hours, and then stay late to get everything cleaned and ready for the next school day. And whereas the Fayetteville City school system operates properly because our custodians are hardworking, dependable, and consistent. And whereas our best custodians take pride in their work and go above and beyond their duties by being friendly and encouraging to students and other staff members. Therefore, be it hereby resolved, the Fayetteville City School Board acknowledges and honors our custodians who constantly fight to keep our schools safe, germ-free, and clean. Be it further resolved, each school in our system is encouraged to involve students, employees, and parents in Custodian Appreciation Day using the theme of Disney Aladdin. And this, if you approve, would be approved the 10th day of October 2022. I think it's a great idea. I make a motion we approve this. You got a second? We're not by this requiring custodians or any staff members to dress in Aladdin costumes. Just that's the theme of the day, right?
It is.
Okay, just clarifying that. All right, all in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. Great. Well, board members, our next board meeting, regularly scheduled, would be November 7th, Monday, November 7th. Is that a go for everybody as far as you know? It doesn't fall on a holiday, so that's a positive sign for our scheduling. 5 o'clock on November 7th is what we have. Any final comments, board members?
I have one final comment.
Yes, ma'am.
So October is Dyslexia Awareness Month, which you all know personally. That's a special thing
Sure.
to me and our family. So I just want to take the opportunity to say, statistically, if you haven't heard me rant about this before, that statistic is 1 in 5 children. So, on it's a spectrum type of learning difference. But I want to say, just in my time on the board, I think we've made leaps and bounds working towards that. I'm just really I'm very proud of how far we've progressed in the last 4 years working towards that as a system from what Ralph Haskins is doing as far as identifying and intervention. And statewide, this is the first time, this new TISA funding formula is the first time that they've ever spelled out specific funds for students with characteristics of dyslexia, which is really a monumental thing. So I just think that's noteworthy to say. So more work to be done, but it's really encouraging to see the direction that we're going. So that's it.
Thank you for that. Anything from the high school, from our student board member?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Homecoming week's going well?
Great, yes,
Okay,
sir.
good, good.
We have a pep rally on Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
That's
Y'all
right.
are welcome.
What time? Is that afternoon?
2:30?
Either 2 or 2:30.
Love a good homecoming pep rally.
Do we have
Do we
themes
have a
for this
parade,
week?
do you know? Are they having a parade or?
No, ma'am, that didn't go through. But the themes, today was Pajama Day, tomorrow is Character Day, on Wednesday's Adam Sandler Day, and Bring Anything But a Backpack Day. Thursday's Throwback, and Friday's Spirit Day. So you can bring your tiger suit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you should.
That's what big, I've seen other schools do it, it's the baggy clothes, it's what it is. It's baggy shorts and a t-shirt that's kind of long, and tennis shoes or something like that.
Yes, sir.
I think that's right.
Yes, sir. And I think it's the first time we're doing anything but a backpack day.
Okay.
Okay.
So is the parade dead? Is that like something, is that not cool anymore, or is it
I
just
think
the
we
students?
tried to ask about it, and then we realized there was a lot of planning, and we started late.
Okay.
And then we were like, well, we can do like a hallway walk around, but then we never got into it.
And we say we, you're talking about like the student
government,
count,
yes,
student
sir.
government, yeah.
So I think basically it was, if we wanna do it, we're gonna have to start planning like now for next year.
Okay.
I would imagine so, to get a parade where we would have to, I guess get permits and all those things for the city, I would
We'll
imagine.
normally do it around the
We
track.
normally
Oh,
do
you're
it.
talking about the track?
That's what we
do.
do.
That parade up here at
Back
school.
historically, we would invite all the schools and go around the track.
Okay. All right, yeah, I was thinking if we could shut the
Who's
town
the-
down and do
who's
a
the
parade.
homecoming?
That'd be cool.
I don't know.
On staff, like teacher.
Oh. I mean, everything's done by student government, so Mrs. L kinda sees everything over.
Okay. Cool. Well, fun to be there. This should be an exciting week, and Friday night should be exciting as well. Mr. Bryan, anything to report from the city? We're
No.
glad to have Mr. Owens with us tonight also.
No, everything's going pretty good.
Good, good. Appreciate all y'all do for us.
I will say that because y'all got an interest in this, the school does. Don Davidson Park, the wiring is going on, the electrical part's going down right now. So that's coming together. It's looking, all the electrical problems that they have down there should be resolved. Shouldn't have those lights burning for too long.
Right.
The William D. Jones project, we've been working on 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about 14 years. Been actually working on 5 years, really trying to get it done. It went to bid, we got a bid on it. The state has to approve that bid because most of the funding is from the state. It's been hung up in the state about 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we don't know when they'll approve it.
We understand projects being hung up at the state, don't we?
Anyway, that's where we at.
Well, we appreciate y'all's dedication to that. Every time I drive
It's
that
bad
little
road.
hill, I think of a school bus and how dangerous that spot
If you
is.
brought
Driving
that
a
up,
school
I
bus
believe
on
my
it's
first
terrible.
or second board meeting here, or third maybe, it hadn't been too long, you brought that up.
That's right,
That
that's right.
you'd like for us to take a look at that. And we've looked and looked and worked and worked, we're gonna eventually get it done.
That's right. Well, we pray, you've been the glue that's held that attention on that project.
It's
and we
been
appreciate
a
it.
challenge, the last 5 years has been a huge challenge, just one roadblock after another, just.
We really appreciate your,
And all of us with the state. All of it.
appreciate your leadership.
We get there.
Anything else, board members, Pam, anything from television land? Okay.
Just as a clarification, we are doing the walk around at the game. Just not, we were gonna do a pep rally, like you go to the square.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so
We're doing
you
it
were,
at the game. We're trying to do a new thing, but that never went through.
gotcha.
The
Okay,
parade
so
at the
the
game
traditional
still-
tiger
yes, that's still
parade
on.
around the
Yeah,
track.
I was gonna say,
will
'cause
happen.
that was what you
Okay.
said, I heard that that's what they had talked
That was
about,
the
and so I've been
idea.
kinda waiting. about one that came through.
Well, in that case, student councils have run into that problem multiple times over the years, because it's like, you know, about a month ahead of time, you don't have time to get permits and things like that.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
right. Good.
Well,
Good.
we can pass that down to
Yeah.
your next, y'all know, plan next.
Lessons learned for the next.
Mr. Morales got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got it.
Yeah,
You got it.
Lynn County High School gets a permit every year.
Right, right.
Yep, every year.
And I will say, the very
Oh, wow,
first
good
year, the very first year we had high school, the county mayor was Miss Peggy Bells, and she reached out to us to say, if Fayetteville High School wants to use the courthouse grandstand, it's available for you, and so they had a warm welcome over there for any time we wanted to use it. We just haven't yet, so hopefully if we decide to in the future, they'll continue to have a
Well,
warm
I'm
welcome.
thinking grandstand would always be open. With all that city
People
taxes,
in
all
Lincoln
the
County.
county taxes.
That's right. People in Lincoln County. Okay, anything else? All right, thank you very much. We stand adjourned. Great meeting.